right, good morning, San Diego. Helicopter shot of the traffic as the sun is coming up. Hey, look at that. It is burned off already Friday morning. Hope you're going to get out and enjoy it here today. All right, let's talk about what's happening here along the border. A drug problem, obviously, across the border constantly, and the violence is impacting pretty much a lot of people in San Diego. Congressman Bilbray is joining us now to talk about the drug cartel meeting on border violence. And good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
How are you? You're in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, I'm in D.C. I'm ready to go back to work. We've got session starting in just a few minutes.
All right. Now, this is obviously one of your big issues here, the situation down on the border. And once again, we've had some situations down in Tijuana where some of these drug dealers now are going to say if the police chief of Tijuana doesn't resign, that they're going to kill 5 officers a week until he does. This is getting pretty brutal.
It really is, Dan, and I think one thing that came out of the hearing yesterday, we keep saying drug cartel, but we got to remember that these are smuggling cartels, that it's the same network that smuggles drugs and human contraband in the form of illegals north and actually smuggles guns south and launders money in the United States. So this cartel is a comprehensive cartel. It's a little more drugs in our area of San Diego, but it's more alien smuggling in the Arizona and eastern sections.
Right. You know, we did a story earlier this week, and I'm sure you're very much aware of this, that they finished that fence along Smuggler's Gulch, and it was a huge project, something like $60 million. And I guess this is one approach to it. You just put up the big fence, and you hope that they can't get past it.
Well, you got to understand that the fence is only a tool for law enforcement along the border. Too many people focus it as being an immigration fence, when in fact, anytime you have anything crossing across the border, people or drugs, or you've got the threat that there could be a lot worse things coming across. So the fence needed to be done as sort of an insulation, but the interior enforcement's the big part about most of these battles, things like immigration and drugs that we need to be concentrating on. But that Duncan Hunter worked hard on that. He's earned the title of Hadrian of America, and the fact is that the Border Patrol really are glad they are now able to patrol that with one officer where before they had 5.
Yeah. So now what is it? What measures are you guys taking in the next couple of weeks here?
Well, the biggest issue is the cooperation with Mexico in this battle in what's called the Mera Initiative. And we've got to understand that we have a real vested interest that Mexico wins this battle in the next 24 months in Mexico before it spreads too much farther into the United States. And, you know, quietly we had a conference between the members of Congress and all of the local, federal, and state law enforcement along the border talking about how the problems are spreading over. And the violence along the border has gone to the point where literally kidnappings are going on, murders are going on. You probably know in Chula Vista we had somebody walk into one of the local hospitals with severed fingers because somebody had been kidnapped and the fingers were being used as proof of the kidnapping. Yeah. That's the kind of thing we don't want to spread into San Diego, and so we're really trying to make sure that we help Calderon. I may have my disagreements on some things with the President of Mexico, but believe me, on this issue, he's the bravest elected official I've ever seen, and we've got to help him now win the battle against the smuggling cartels within the next 2 years, or we're going to have to really understand the threat in our communities, and this is going to affect all of San Diego County if we don't win it.
Before we let you go, obviously there are consequences to that. The fact that he is cracking down, the first president of Mexico ever to really crack down this heavy, but unfortunately it has led to the most brutal violence they've ever seen in that country.
Well, I think a lot of it is comparable to what the surge that we did in Iraq, where you've got, when the shooting starts, everybody gets weak-kneed, and he's brave enough to know this is the only way to get to success, and he's doing the right thing. What's scary is that the elections went against him last week, and there are those who are talking about negotiating with the smuggling cartels. That's basically people talking about capitulation. If we talk about capitulation, if they negotiate with the smuggling cartels, the whole concept of having commerce and good things coming across that border will end. We will truly see a close of our border if we can't win this this battle against the cartels, working with the president. And I think the big challenge is for all of us to make sure that they don't win, so we can encourage the good things across the border and not allow these bad things to stand in the way.
I hear you, because you know what? We love to go to Mexico. We love to go down there, love the culture, love the people, love the coastline, as you know. One more thing before you let you go, very quickly. You know, Friendship Park, you're familiar with that, where the folks from America and Mexico could go talk to each other?
And I before there was a park, I spent time down there. Remember, I grew up right there at the border.
Right. So it is all closed down now, but there's an effort to say, hey, what are you doing? Can we please open this back up? What do you feel about that?
I think that they're playing politics with that. That park has always had a problem. Every time there's a flood, the state park has been closed again and again. It has never been a big meeting place for anybody. I can tell you, as somebody who rides horses there, that has spent more time down there than I think than any elected official, this is all trying to play a game with it. Where were these people when the roads were closed for 2 years at a time and we couldn't get into that area? Now, because the fence has been built, they're trying to find reasons, find excuses. I've been fighting for years at trying to make sure that area stays open, but you had people that were playing obstructionists against the fence being built in a responsible manner and trying to use environmental laws to stop it for political reasons, rather than working with everybody to find the most environmentally responsible way to be able to build that. And we were hoping to have a system to where we didn't even have to have the fence right on the border there. We pulled it back a little bit and only closed off the gate during the night. But sadly, you have people that are playing games. And I'll be frank with you, Dan, there are people that will play politics with everything on the border. And I just think they ought to be up front of where they've been whenever the sewage is flowing, when the trash is flowing, when these parks were closed because of floods and other things, a lack of maintenance by the state on the road there. Where were they when the park was closed for other reasons? But now they're trying to use the border fence as an excuse to say there's a problem.
All right, Congressman Brian Bilbray, back to work for you.
Absolutely, back to the grindstone.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay.